We left with Rutgers yesterday, and a coach, after we saw the video hanging by the proverbial thread, well, to the surprise of absolutely nobody. And, we didn't give him 24 hours yesterday. He didn't make 24 hours. Rice gone at Rutgers. And the question now is, are there any other elements to this story? Meaning, we all knew yesterday Rice was gone. You knew completely that it was cemented last night when you heard the governor come out against the coach. This is a state university. When the governor says the guy shouldn't be coaching a state university, he has lost his job. He lost his job the minute Christie opens his mouth. Okay, so that's automatic. When a governor at a state talks about a state university employee, it's over. Okay, now the question is, does the governor or anybody else want there to be more people to walk the plank? And that is, does this go deeper than just Rice? Does Pernetti lose his job? Does anybody else lose their job? Now, Pernetti is a bright young guy. He had clearly built up some currency, including whether you want to give him a lot or a little credit on how Rutgers got to the Big Ten. They got there. A lot of the schools didn't. They got there. And, you can use the New York argument and the Big Ten wanting to get its tentacles. And the Big Ten Network has been incredibly successful. And they did want to get into the New York area because there's more sets. Rutgers gets you in there a little bit. It's more perception than reality, but it does give you a little bit of that. But he got them there. They're there. And now they go there without a coach. The question is, do they go there with a new AD? We'll wait and see. Then there's the other part of this story of which we are just going by what has been reported. It has been reported. It was on the station early this morning, and it has been, I guess, in at least it was second by John Rothstein, the idea that Rutgers was shaken down about the tape. Again, we'll see if anything comes out of that. We'll see what the ramifications are of that. The bottom line is Murdoch had a problem with the program and with the head coach, and he put together a tape that, when it got out, probably should have finished him the first time. It didn't. It finished him the second time. If you notice, there's a couple of things that needed to be mentioned that you heard this morning. One of the things you heard was a very interesting line on the Rutgers statement, that new information. New information was what? We don't know. Was there any new information? Might not have been, but that new information is important for this reason. Rice paid his penalty. He did what he was told to do. He was told to do certain things. He was brought before the president. He was brought before an outside firm that was dealing in this too, that made recommendations. He did what he was told. He did his mea culpas. He supposedly had withstood that, and now he was fired because the tape got public. So what happened is the eyeballs that finally saw the tape were so enraged that the guys who made a bad decision the first time had to go back and make a decision the second time. That's reality. Now, did they say new information to protect their own rear ends and also make it a fair termination? Because you can also look at it that Rice didn't do anything else wrong. Wait a second, I paid my debt for that. You asked me to do this, I did it. You asked me to say this, I said it. I went about my business, I minded my P's and Q's. Why am I now being paid off for something I already served my sentence for? Why am I getting nailed again? I already did that. This is double jeopardy. So from his standpoint, you can also now make Rice and his assistants somewhat after the fact victims if they did nothing else wrong, because they already thought that they had done what they were asked to do. They had served their sentence. Did anything else happen? Rutgers said yes. They said new information. Was there? Or was that just a way to protect themselves and make themselves look good? Bottom line is, Pernetti screwed up. We knew that the minute he saw the tape. We saw the tape. We knew he screwed up. The question now is, A, what are the ramifications for that, for Rice and his assistants? Are there any? They're gone, but can they recoup anything? Where's Murdoch in this whole thing? How murky was his role? Was his role illegal, as has been alleged? And what happens if that's the case? Where does Rutgers sit in that situation? And what is the future for the people who passed on doing the right thing the first time? Are there any ramifications there? So Rutgers has cut out the original problem. And a lot of people would probably like to think that just cutting out that original problem ends the situation. The question is, does it? I would say it doesn't for this reason. Number one, they have to, in this climate, as they go enter a new league, they have to, in this climate, find a new coach. And it has to be a no-brainer and somewhat uplifting. Number two, does Pinetti get to hire that coach? Does he get to stay in his position, or is he going to have to walk the plank? And how much do outside forces like the governor want him to pay for his lack of judgment? Government likes to stick, the governor likes to stick his nose in a lot of things. We know that. He's an active governor. His take on this was dead on. But the question is he satisfied? Or does he want more? Do outside forces, do trustees, do they want more? Do they want to see more walk the plank over this? Or is this enough? Was throwing rice to the alligators enough to feed everybody's appetite, or do they need more?